we're back to milking. Just the one right now. So Lone Star had a single doe kid. Sometimes when goats have a single, they won't produce as much milk as if they'd had a double or a triple or a quadruple, which I will I'll circle back to quads in a little bit because I have some really exciting news about quads on the farm. But yeah, so Lone Star's in milk. I think she's giving us close to a half gallon a day. Right now she's 5 days fresh. So it is, she's got a little thing on her teat blocking her up. So she's, why is it doing that? She had a plug in her teat. Sometimes you have to pick these out after they kid. And it's just like a natural plug at the end of their teat so they don't get any nasty stuff in their teat. Helps keep them from getting infections. Much better. So, she is 6 days fresh, 5 days fresh. She's a first freshener, so this is her first time kidding. And I see a lot of developmental changes in udders within the first, 2 weeks after kidding. So I'll just insert a little picture of, maybe down here, I don't know, of what her udder looked like right after she had her kid. And it was small. It can be really disappointing after a goat kids for the first time because sometimes they just really look like they don't have much of an udder. Capacity-wise, I would like to see a little bit bigger, but she's quite a small doe, and again, she had a single. But I'm really liking the height of this thing and the attachment. She did also have a very small vaginal tear from having the kid. It was just so big. I could tell as soon as she started giving birth, which if you haven't watched that video, that's the last video we posted. But I could tell that the kid just wasn't going to come out well. It was presenting feet first and nose, which is perfect, but she just wasn't stretching like I typically see our goats stretch. So I could see those feet, but that she just kept pushing so hard, and that nose wasn't coming out any further. And I could tell she was going to get a small tear because I saw the tiniest bit of red presenting at the very top where the kid's head was starting to come out. So I did help pull the kid with her pushes. I probably could have let her continue to try to push. I didn't want her to wear herself out. And again, the kid just wasn't making any progress with that head. It was a big kid. So she got some pain meds. I was going to do a round of antibiotics, but we cleaned the whole barn and replaced all the bedding the day before she kidded. So we had really clean bedding, and I've been keeping an eye on the area. And it looks great. It's healing up really well. It's not hot to the touch. It's not red. And again, she had some pain meds, which I think helped a lot. She definitely needed those. This is going to be a little cold. I'm so sorry. Uh-oh. How's your water? Oh, Duffy's thirsty. Good duckies. Exciting news. Not exciting news, I guess. I am still sick. Still having a hard time hearing out of this ear. I have called the doctor about my ear. I do think I know the reason why I'm having such a hard time recovering from this cold. I'll probably touch it on the video after this. I'm not going to talk about it right now. I have some exciting news, though, about the goats. We now have 10 confirmed pregnancies. A couple of them I confirmed kind of early, around like the 28-day mark. So I am going to recheck those goats just to make sure that they don't absorb the pregnancies, probably in about 10 days. I did get a count on some of the kids. So far we've been correct on kid count. We've only had one goat who had one baby. I only saw one on ultrasound. Sugar's due next. I think she's going to have triplets, but she might just have twins. I for sure saw two. She's due the 9th of January. And then we've got Milky Way, who I think is only going to have one. I've only ever seen one on ultrasound. You guys knew that Dance was pregnant, Cookie was pregnant. We confirmed both of them. Did we confirm anybody else other than Dance? And Golden Hour. When I talked to you guys about how we checked Golden Hour, I'd said that she had a lot of sacs in her, baby sacs, but we thought that it was just sacs folding over on each other. So it looked like she had 4 kids in her the first time that we checked her. So I'll insert a little clip of that real quick. And then I decided to check her again because I really wanted to know how many she was going to have. And I found 4 babies in her again, or at least 4 sacs, and I saw 3 separate babies for sure. So if she doesn't have 4, I am almost certain she's going to have 3, which is insane. We have been feeding her very well. She's quite a big doe, so I guess it doesn't surprise me. But I think she's going to have quite a bit of kids. I saw 2 in Cookie. I rechecked her, 2 for sure. I think I only see 2 in Dance, but there might be 3. She is known for quads, apparently, but she was bred right after traveling here from Michigan, so I think probably the stress just wouldn't let her body hold on to as many as it normally would. I confirmed that Moonspot and Creeper are finally pregnant, which were our 2 trouble children this year for sure. I think I only see 1 in Moonspot, which would make sense because her mom had one the first time her mom's Creeper. And then her sister, Milky Way, I think I just see 1 in her. And then I believe I saw 2 in Creeper, but they're really hard to see in her. Maybe she's just deep. She's hiding them very well because I've ultrasounded her. This is probably the 4th or 5th time. And she's going on like, I don't know, 45 days, 50 days, something like that. I mean, she's due in early April, the first week of April. I'm just now seeing kids in her. I confirmed Cinnamon, which is great. She absorbed earlier in the year after an AI attempt. So then I live bred her multiple times and she wouldn't take. So she's finally taken. I think I see 2 in her, maybe 3. She did have triplets last year. I still can't find babies in Alder. And then we got Halo pregnant. So Halo's are one of our 2024 kids that we purchased. And in the past, I've always waited to breed goats until they were a little over a year old. So they're kidding out when they're around 2. But this doe's really big, and she's kind of fat. And I think if we kept her dry as a yearling, it would be really hard to keep weight off of her. And she's got some really heavy milk lines behind her. I don't want to deal with precocious udder, which is something that can happen when you leave a yearling dry, especially from heavy milk lines. And she's bred to Espresso. So that's really exciting. I think Espresso's finally going to have kids. Moonspot was also possibly bred to Espresso. I put her in with him, but then I put her in with Rising as well. I never saw Rising mount her, and I'm pretty sure I saw Espresso mount her once. So those kids will be DNA tested. But everybody else, I know who they were bred to. I did try to breed Crunch. She hates the boys. Terrified of them. Wanted nothing to do with them even when she was in heat. So the only ones that I think we're going to have dry this year is Crunch and Alder. I'm kind of bummed about Alder. I was really looking forward to showing her. And I thought about cedering her and putting her into heat, but I don't know. It's kind of too late for me to do that now. I'd have to order a bunch of stuff and call my vet because there's a couple of prescriptions that I'd need to do that. And I bugged him a bit this year with prescriptions because we had the small tear and there's something else too. Oh yeah, and I wanted to do the loop for everybody that was absorbing. And so yeah, I think we'll have the 2 dry does. But we'll see. Alder still hasn't gone back into heat and Crunch is still going back into heat. So maybe I might do a blood test on Alder. Maybe she's just really too deep for me to see. And I do have the milk out here still. It's cold, and it's going straight to the baby goats. Baby goat. If you have a milk goat and you've never had milk goats before, the first about 3 weeks after a goat freshens, whether it's their first, second, third, fourth, fifth freshening, whatever freshening it is, the goat milk is quite salty and not tasty. So if you get goats and you milk them right after they kid within those first couple of weeks and the milk tastes really off-putting, it's not the goat. Well, it is the goat, but it will taste better. It's just because they just kidded. I think it's because it still has some colostrum in the milk, and that colostrum is really salty and just not good tasting. So don't be afraid that your goat is junk. The milk will get better. Right, girls? Oh, damn. You just have the cutest face.